This is an oral history project that documents the Chicano Arts Theater, a street theater group formed by San Antonio West Side youth in the 1970s.
I participated with a teatro with Emilio Delgado. I think it's Emilio Delgado, who did Sesame Street, Emilio in Sesame Street. He was doing Mexican American Chicano kind of theater in East Los Angeles in a little church. And he's the one that introduced me, took a group. We were a theater group, and he took us like to go see in San Fernando Valley the Triato Campesino that was performing, trying to recruit people in the fields. So that's the first time that I really got an impact of getting this teatro and performing on a flatbed truck and getting the people that are working out there to walk out and join the union. And we were just observing, we were like, but I was like, wow, man, that's what I want to do.
I was able to go and see teatros come and perform at Our Lady of the Lake University, and just hearing those voices and that noise that gave us that empowerment, that made us feel that we could do something, that's what pulled me in.
What can I do now? How can I alleviate the problem? And how can I help? Just bring in that laughter, bring in that joy, but bring in that reality that you are part of this community.
We used to do performances, and so we would block off the street and do performances, and the people loved it. I've never had so many rocks thrown at me, because I always got to play the white-faced gringo, and so I was the one that's constantly getting the rocks thrown at me by the kids and stuff, and all the catcalling of "Órale, gringo," and stuff like that.
In fact, I played a guy one time too, a little cholo. Sabino told me, he goes, no, yeah, there's some young cholos that their voices still haven't gotten to be a male sounding voice, so you'll do good. So they dressed me up as a little cholo. It was at Our Lady of the Lake, and so I come out there all like, hey, ¿qué onda? ¿Qué pasó? I didn't even know what I was talking about half the time, but it was just that was a lot of fun.
When I started doing Teatro Chicano, that we very much got involved with marches going all the way to Austin, performing in front of the Capitol. So always a lot of engagement. Now, in the early days for our company, we didn't have a writer, we didn't have scripts, but we did a lot of improv, and we would get together a couple of times and figure out exactly how our story's going to be, how we were going to present, and who's going to stand there, who's going to do the movement. And so we would perform a little bit, so we'd get up on stage and we'd do the show. So we saw a lot of films by the Marx Brothers and then Cantinflas, and we saw their body language, and that's what we started to do: our body language and gestures and bigger than life characters.
And I asked him, Sabino, what's a movimiento? So I kept hearing it, but the movimiento was different for everybody. The movimiento for Brown Beret was different. The movimiento for Chicano Arts Theater was different. Teatro Los Barrios, their movimiento was a little bit different. They all had their own spin of what the movimiento was at the time. So I was a little bit confused at 14. And so I asked him, I said, what's a movimiento? And he chuckled. He was driving this white Ford Galaxy, remember it, white interior. And he looked at me, he chuckled and said, you're the movimiento. And that's how he left.
And I was so excited because we got to perform. Our first performance was going to be at Joski's department store downtown. And if you don't know, back then, Joski's was not Mexicano friendly. It was very white, very, and you had to have money to walk through that door. But it was so amazing because we went there and we were performing in the middle of the aisles. Everybody would stop and they'd watch us. And it was great. It was fun. It was a lot of fun.